A warm welcome to all the Gemini rising signs of the zodiac to your astrology for the month of May on Cosmic Girl 101. Trust you're doing well. I'm going to be taking you through the planets and transits in this video and what it means for your rising sign. But before we get into that, Gemini rising, I'd like to talk to you about your ruling planet Mercury and what Mercury has been up to. Because Mercury is your ruling planet, and wherever Mercury is transiting, what house it's in, what dignity it's in, meaning what shape is it in? Is it a good zodiac sign, or is it a zodiac sign that's difficult for you? It's going to be more of a backbone for you in understanding what's going on. So we need to, through the lens of astrology, at least acknowledge what your ruling planet Mercury has been up to, where it is, and where it's heading. Okay, so Mercury is currently transiting in Aries. That's a very strong zodiac sign for your ruling planet to be in. Aries is all about the action. It's very quick and it takes initiative and it's extremely sharp. And with Mercury in Aries, we're talking about quick wit, think on your feet energy, and can be quite abrupt with the speech. And whilst that's quite strong, your ruling planet Mercury has been transiting in Aries, but that's your 11th house, Gemini rising. And your 11th house is your friends, your dreams, your goals. It's the house of alliances. That 11th house is where we knock shoulders with people that we have an interest with, like social connections. The 11th house also supports the 10th house, and that 10th house is your career, your public name, superiors, and your professional life. So with Mercury in sharp, action-oriented Aries, opening up the month of May, it's not that you have a problem with being sharp and quick on your feet. It's possibly that you are a little bit more aware of the people around you, your social circles and connections, and even your dreams and goals are shifting so quickly on a dime that your head could be in a spin. You could be getting in some heated arguments with friends or even social organizations that you're connected to, or just be torn and feel like you're pushing shit uphill when it comes to trying to stronghold a dream or goal that you are extremely passionate about one day, and then the next day it fizzles out just as quickly. So even though Mercury is in a strong position, being in the zodiac sign of Aries, that also means that people around you have a lot of strong energy as well. So you may be seeing people being a little bit more feisty, rambunctious, and I'm wondering how you're responding in kind to people being just as quick and as strong as you are. So if there has been conflicts or conflicts of interest with groups or organizations, people not showing up, I wouldn't be too surprised. And maybe even you showing up for yourself and holding a line when it comes to what it is that you actually want to bring into your life regarding a personal dream, goal, or ambition. So that's where your ruling planet Mercury is transiting, opening up the month. We also have your ruling planet Mercury ingressing into Taurus this month, and that will be a very quick transit, and then it will be going into your first house, and that is a very auspicious placement. Number one, Mercury is in its domicile zodiac of Gemini. Your ruling planet Mercury is in its own environment when it's in Gemini and also in Virgo. So your ruling planet Mercury is about to become more excitable, and you will definitely feel a surge, if you will, of dexterity and clarity. So you have a lot going on in the month of May is basically what I'm trying to lay out for you, because your ruling planet Mercury is moving so quickly. And whilst at times that can be good, if Mercury is your ruling planet, well, that can be a lot to handle on a month to month basis. Because if you think of your ruling planet constantly changing the rules on you regarding what house and zodiac sign is in, you have to adjust, no questions asked. And that can be quite a sparring match that you have with your own planet at times as a Gemini rising. And I totally resonate with that. I have Gemini in my first Gemini. I have Mercury on my ascendant in my first house. So I'm simply empathizing with you, Gemini rising signs, that I understand Mercury ruling the first house, what that actually means. Okay. So with that long-winded opening, I just wanted to give you a well-rounded holistic understanding of what your planet's up to in the month of May, and it's very active. So let's get to it. It's such a good feeling when we feel that we're on the right track. Is it not? With any facet of our lives or aspect of our lives, we feel good when we've got something settled, set in stone, and it's predictable, and you just keep grinding away at some part of your life with a lot of certainty. That feels good for anybody. Why am I talking about this? Well, on the 4th of May, Pluto begins retrograding in Aquarius in 9th house until the 13th of October. And that 9th house, where we do feel quite certain about our beliefs, our spiritual paths and practices, higher education, foreigners, foreign places, and travel, it can feel very, very difficult when we start second guessing ourselves. And Pluto retrograde provides just that. When we start thinking, did I miss an opportunity? Have I missed some information? Am I on the right path? And not that you're not adept to change, but this can be really frustrating if you feel nervous about missed opportunities or overlooking information when Pluto's retrograding in Aquarius in your 9th house. Because that 9th house is the bigger things of life. And if you feel that you've been totally bamboozled, confused, Pluto retrograde can make you definitely feel that you haven't really got it all together. Now, that's not a very good feeling when you think you've got everything set in motion and in stone when it comes to those 9th house topics we've just been talking about. Alas, the beneficial thing about Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius is giving you plenty of doorways into uncharted waters or pathways. So it may be frustrating if you have to adjust and pivot on well-laid plans that you've had when it comes to that 9th house of expansion with your mind, body, spirit, or soul. But there's gold in readjusting and pivoting to get in the actual groove that's going to be beneficial when Pluto goes direct on the 13th of October. So if you need to readjust, replan, rethink the bigger things of your life at the 9th house, this is the transit to do it. It almost feels like the wisdom of Pluto retrograding in Aquarius for all of us, but for you in your 9th house, is you didn't realize there was so much more here that you could be engaging with or experiencing. And now I'm going to show you. And even though you've got things set in stone or you've got your plans in order and you're executing those ideas and concepts, you can adjust because you've got time to be flexible here before I go direct on the 13th of October. So that in itself is a little nugget, little golden nugget that Pluto is going to present to you when it's retrograde in Aquarius in your 9th house on the 4th of May. There are times when you're just in the right place at the right time, Gemini rising, and the 5th of May is one of those days. Expect something surprising to happen that almost feels like you can't believe your luck. With Jupiter sextiling Mercury and Venus sextiling Pluto retrograde, there is something speedily heading towards you that you didn't see coming that benefits you in so many significant ways. This feels like a key that unlocks the potential for you to start something regarding a new social connection and opening up your horizons, be it through spirituality, travel, education. Something is unlocked, and I don't think you'll believe your luck on the 5th of May. Okay, so this is the point on the 10th of May where your ruling planet leaves Aries and ingresses into Taurus. And we know that through the opening of the video that your ruling planet Mercury is swiftly moving through Taurus, your 12th house. Okay, let's talk about this. Yes, all the moving and the shaking and the communication and the travel and the banter and the socializing and the action. Well, that doesn't all stop because your ruling planet Mercury goes into Taurus. With Mercury in Taurus, we are talking about downtime, letting things settle. So doing things in isolation and in solitude may be just the tonic you need from the 10th of May. Mercury in Taurus, we are talking about a Venusian ruled zodiac sign. We know that Venus is in Aries, right next to your ruling planet, Mercury in Taurus in the 12th house. Great. So this means that Venus can still be helping you out in sifting through the wheat and the chaff of what you love and what you value, what juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to your social connections, your dreams and your goals and your alliances. And your ruling planet is slowly sitting on the wayside, processing, looking at the bigger picture, what you want to begin and what you want to grow, what you want to start. What is it going to take for you to commit and engage fully in your dreams, your goals, and the bigger things in your life? So contemplation time, not navel gazing, but just thinking about the determination and the grit and the daily grind and the effort it's going to take to do things for yourself, to make something a reality that's so near and dear to your heart. So you may be feeling from the 10th of May that you need to quietly process things on the down low. So you may not be so interested in engagement here from the 10th. I think you might be more interested in taking good care of the body, eating good nutritious food, getting stronger, getting more resilient, and really looking and crunching the numbers and dissecting through research and paperwork in regards to what it is going to take to get you started on a new road ahead. So really, really nice transit with your ruling planet Mercury in Taurus in its 12th house on the 10th of May. A fantastic full moon is happening on the 12th of May. And I say this is fantastic because we have a full moon in Scorpio at 22 degrees in your 6th house. If you have any planets between 20 degrees and 25 degrees of Scorpio, then those natal planets in your birth chart are being lit up by this full moon in Scorpio. So the moon is only bright because it reflects the sunshine, and that sun is currently transiting in Taurus, where your ruling planet Mercury is transiting, and that's the 12th house. Interesting lunation for you, but a beneficial one. Why is this beneficial? Well, the full moon in Scorpio is fallen. And through astro babble, that simply means that the moon is unresourced. It doesn't feel comfortable in his zodiac sign because it is ruled by the planet Mars. And Mars is very different from where the sun is exalted in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Venus is peace, Mars is war. So this full moon in Scorpio, fallen in your 6th house of work, service, co-workers, and to a degree, how your body responds in kind to all of that demand of the daily grind is really giving you plenty of opportunity to see where you might be white knuckling or fixated or hell-bound, if you will, on pushing an agenda that might be going too far. This is your cosmic red light to stop on the 12th of May and see the forest for the trees. I think this is important because your ruling planet and the sun in Taurus in your 12th house can see this full moon, and the moon is only bright because it reflects the sunshine. And that's where all the information is coming from, that you're seeing this result of the 6th house. Just how much you're dedicated to service, work, co-workers, and the daily grind, and how your body's responding in kind, because your ruling planet is in that very practical, grounded zodiac sign of Taurus with the sun, and it's all about processing things slowly, doing things slowly. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars is all about the action. Now, let's act, let's go. Quite aggressive. And Taurus is not like that at all. Taurus plods along with certainty, with the knowledge and a purpose. And it's not rushed, and it's certainly not interested in conflict. So you may be seeing conflict and feeling it, maybe even feeling it emotionally on this day. About, my goodness, I really do I'm quite bulldoggish when it comes to just showing up all the time. And you may be feeling exhausted and start to see that there's other ways of achieving the things that you want to achieve regarding service, work, or even working with co-workers. And a sense of service and how your body is responding in kind. There's other ways of achieving my lofty dreams and goals. So this can be quite, for better words, confronting full moon for you. And whilst that full moon's beaming in that 6th house, your ruling planet Mercury is squaring off with retrograde Pluto. I would agree with the wisdoms of the planets on this day. I think because your ruling planet Mercury in Taurus is squaring off with Pluto retrograde, this indicates there's conflict in your beliefs about what you're doing and your beliefs about higher education, travel, your spiritual path, foreigners and foreign places. How are all of those bigger things of your life grading up against you? All the things that you really want to do and the bigger things that you want to engross and entangle yourself with. Well, I wonder if you're having a conflict. Square is a conflict. That is the aspect. That you are just in conflict of going, yeah, I want these bigger things. I am on the right path. I know I am. I believe in what I believe in, but my daily grind is just becoming really unhealthy. So easy does it on the 12th of May. On the 18th, your ruling planet Mercury then squares off with Mars, the ruler of that full moon, in Scorpio only a few days before. Interesting. So we know that Mercury, your ruling planet, is in the 12th and it's squaring off with Mars in the 3rd. So this means that there's something about education, travel, or even a sibling that's bothering you. Squares, again, are about a conflict about taking action. So you just may not be ready to show up. So if you have misleaded other people or given them the acknowledgement that you're going ahead with something, I think the 18th, you might be hesitant. You might be a little bit gun shy on this day and not real certain about travel, education, or interacting or going ahead with a sibling. This could be a difficult day on the 18th. Then on the 20th, the sun ingresses into Gemini, your first house, for 4 weeks. This would be like your little return, if you will, your rising sign return. The sun is beaming here and your ruling planet Mercury is going to be ingressing here very soon as well. So your first house becomes focused. With the sun in your first house, The first house indicates beginnings. It's your life. It's also your physical body, and it's your sense of who am I? So the sun steps into your first house for 4 weeks and energizes you, gives you intelligence, gives you that spirit to be confident again, confident in who you are, what you want to start. Look at your life from a more optimistic point of view, half glass full, not half glass empty. So the sun's ahead of your ruling planet Mercury, sort of motoring you up. I think when Mercury gets into your first house this month later, you're going to be on board, but it's like the sun is putting a fire under your feet and trying to inspire you to get something going. So if you've been ginger, half in, half out, well, the sun, when it ingresses into your first house for 4 weeks, you may start to feel a little more certain about your path forward. So that's only beneficial for 4 weeks. On the 24th, this is another big day astrologically with the planets in alignment. We have the sun in Gemini, sextiling Neptune in Aries. And we also have your ruling planet conjuncting Uranus. Big day. So let's talk about the sun sextiling Neptune. So Neptune hasn't been in Aries for like 165 years, and we're all at this point just trying on Neptunian clothes, if you will. And Neptune is in your 11th house of your goals, your dreams, your friends, your social circles, where Venus is currently transiting. So the sun is in your first house on the 24th, having a nice harmonious connection with Neptune in Aries. This is great for, again, being in the right place at the right time. So there's something serendipitous going on for you, Gemini risings, in the month of May with the planets in alignments, where things just start to fall in your lap or information just lands that you just cannot believe it's happening. And the 24th of May is another one of those days for you that's quite auspicious and uplifting indeed. So expect something quite whimsical to happen on the 24th when the sun in your first house is sextiling with Neptune in the 11th house. I think you might be ready to agree to move ahead with something inspiring on this day. And there's someone in your social circle that invites you into their dream space or ignites your inspiration on this day. And you didn't see it coming and it benefits you. So I love that for you, Gemini rising, when the sun sextiles Neptune. And then your ruling planet conjuncting Uranus. This is nothing to sneeze at through the lens of astrology. Mercury and Uranus coming together. This is unbelievable, this planetary alignment. I love it because Uranus is the maverick of the solar system. This planet loves to throw curveballs at us. And while it's disrupting at the very onset, it proves to be liberating and beneficial in the long run. We just don't seem to see it or understand it at the time when something changes quite quickly. So when your ruling planet Mercury conjuncts Uranus on the 24th, the same day as the sun sextiles Neptune, well, this conjunction is happening in your 12th house of Taurus. And this is going to indicate that you are deciding to get out of Dodge. So you're not going to be sitting on your hands on the 24th. You're proactively engaging in something, starting something new for yourself. And I like that your ruling planet Mercury is conjuncting Uranus because I think you're going to surprise yourself that you act so quickly and change on a dime about starting something new. So if you have been sitting on a proverbial fence Am I in? Am I out? I don't know. I don't really know if I believe I can do this, or I don't know if this can really happen. I think the 24th, with the Sun sextiling Neptune, with beneficial news, being in the right place at the right time, you just go, I'm in, and you're off to the races. So the 24th of May is a day to mark in your calendar. The same day on the 24th, another big planetary movement. We have Saturn now ingressing into the zodiac sign of Aries, into your 11th house. And Saturn will be in Aries direct in your 11th house until it goes into a retrograde on July 13. This is a big deal. Saturn hasn't been in Aries since 1998. So if you can reflect back that long, if you're old enough, what was going on for you in 1998? Because the planets are cyclical and it's been 30 years, 29, 30 years since Saturn's been in Aries. So here it comes back around again. Saturn's back in Aries in your 11th house of dreams, goals, your social connections, your alliances. That 11th house also supports the 10th house of your career, superiors, how people see you in the public. This is going to be a big transit for all of us, but let's talk about this for you. So Saturn is all about wisdom, knowledge, patience, determination, can feel very, I can't believe it's taking so long for something to happen in Aries in your 11th house. But the good thing about Saturn ingressing back into Aries after such a long time in your 11th house is that we have a fresh, almost unfiltered Saturn. We have a naive Saturn that just knows nothing but wisdom in having a go, taking action on the unreal. There's no real boundaries or limits here because we've got a young, fresh Saturn that's in young, fresh zodiac sign of Aries. So you may be knocking shoulders with people that are quite youthful, inspiring, uplifting. They're go-getters. They're movers and shakers. They just take the initiative, and whilst they have that innate personality, it's almost infectious to you. So I think from the 24th of May, before Saturn retrogrades on the July 13, I wouldn't be closed off to believing in the unreal, because you've got a lot of energy coming from other people around you that gets you really going. So I think this is quite beneficial for you, Gemini risings, from the 24th with Saturn ingressing into Aries in your 11th house. Let's just get some new peeps in our space. Let's seek out different people, places, and faces that are inspiring, daring, bold. Have a go. I think it's really nice. On the 26th, big news, only 2 days later, your ruling planet Mercury ingresses into Gemini. Couldn't be happier. You have like a little mini natal return with Mercury in Gemini in your first house. And we need to talk about this because this is going to be a game changer for you. And I think this is just the tonic you need with Mercury now in your first house of life, beginning, your body, your sense of self. You're all on board. It's like you've been processing and thinking and umming and ahhing and contemplating, and then your ruling planet gets into the first house and it's like, well, that's enough of that. Let's do something about all these great ideas. You've got the facts and the figures. You know who's who in the zoo. You know what you really, really love. You know what emotionally drains you, doesn't make you feel good. Let's change things. Let's do something. Let's act. Let's go now. I think you're ready. I think you've been going through big transitions and changes. You've had enough serendipitous occasions throughout the month to inspire you and engage you and keep you thinking, yeah, okay, I do believe I can move forward on something. And then your ruling planet ingresses into the first house and it's all systems go. Fabulous. And when your ruling planet does ingress back into Gemini in your first house, it's sextiling Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house. This is great. This is like, well, it's go time on my dreams, my social connections, my alliances, we're all on board here. So I think you're putting practice into your dreams and goals and your plans for your future. I think you're committed moving forward from the 26th. You're out of the thinking stage and you're into the acting stage now. So really nice for Gemini risings. The next day on the 27th, yes, we have a new moon in your first house of Gemini, and this one's at 6 degrees. So if you have any planets between 3 to 9 degrees of Gemini in your first house, those planets are about to be natally recharged with new inspiration. This is new environments, feeling more emotionally connected to your body and what you're doing and what you're starting. You're ready to inspire yourself, be inspired by other people, get more social, get more active, and get more certain about a new beginning on the 27th of April. And just for fun, on the 27th of April with this new moon, your ruling planet Mercury is now trining retrograde Pluto. So you had that square earlier in the month where you were umming and ahhing, I'm not too sure, and that was when the full moon was happening in Scorpio. And now your ruling planet Mercury is agreeing in a trine with retrograde Pluto where things are easy to go. I do believe I can go, I can start, let's do it. I've got it together. I know what I want. I know who I am. Let's just take those advantageous moments, take the opportunities, let's do it. And Pluto retrograde just agrees with you and is like, well, this is more information and more inspiration that you didn't know available. Are you ready to connect? And you go, yeah, I'm in. Wonderful new moon on the 27th of May. On the 30th, we have the sun conjunct your ruling planet Mercury. This is huge if you're a Gemini rising. Huge. So this is like a Cazimi. Well, it is a Cazimi moment to spend the sun and Mercury at the same degree. So your ruling planet is in the heart. The heart. Isn't that beautiful? Of the sun. Where it's about your spirit for life, your zest for life, the optimism, the inspiration, the intelligence is there to start something brand new for yourself. This is inspiration. This 30th of May for you is your cosmic green pass to let your flag fly and you do you. Information lands, inspiration lands, social connections open up. You're all engaged in life. And the 30th of May is a day where you can feel nothing but in your authentic skin. You intuitively know what works for you, what doesn't. And you've got a fire under your feet on the 30th of May. Really nice. So that's your astrology for the month. I trust you have a wonderful month of May, Gemini rising. Until next time, stay cosmic.